करने का नाम है। बाकी सबके सहयोग की जरूरत है। मेरा नाम अरविंद सिंह है और ये जो मूवमेंट है या पिटिशन इसके नाम से शुरू हुआ है, ये वीटो फॉर इंडिया, which I have started purely and only in my personal capacity. Some of you ask किस NGO से आप जुड़े हुए हैं, किस संस्था से जुड़े हुए हैं, तो उससे कोई संस्था नहीं है। ये पर्सनल फीलिंग थी कि इतनी बड़ी कंट्री है, हर तरह से इस साल के अप्रैल में सबसे बड़ी पॉपुलेशन हमारी कंट्री की, सबसे बड़ी डेमोक्रेसी है, वो सब आप जानते हैं। और फिर भी हमारे पास जो यूनाइटेड नेशन सिक्योरिटी काउंसिल में परमानेंट सीट थी, तो उसके बारे में ये पर्सनल एफर्ट शुरू किया। ये जो change.org में एक पिटिशन शुरू की थी कोई 4-5-6 महीने पहले। धीरे धीरे पहले 1-2 लोग, पर अभी कोई 30,000 के ऊपर लोग उसको साइन कर चुके हैं, मोस्टली इन इंडिया बट सम आउटसाइड इंडिया ऑल्सो। तो ये एक तरह से शुरुआत है इसका। कई लोगों ने पूछा कि आपका क्या, ये नहीं है कि इसमें कोई हमारी कंट्री में कोई इशू है, मतलब यहाँ कोई कुछ नहीं कर सकता, क्योंकि हमारा काम एज अ प्राइवेट सिटीजन इज टू सपोर्ट आवर गवर्नमेंट, बिकॉज द गवर्नमेंट इज डूइंग इट्स बेस्ट, डिप्लोमेट्स आर डूइंग देयर बेस्ट। आवर इंटेंशन इज टू ऑल्सो कन्वे टू द इंटरनेशनल कम्युनिटी that it is also important for people of India, not only government of India, but people of India, that we are given the respect we deserve as a nation we are. So it is about our respect that we are entitled to, and being there is being the largest country, one of the most responsible country, is our right. तो उसी के लिए जो कैंपेन का नाम भी है वो है हक बनता है। This is not somebody doing a favor, because अगर यूनाइटेड नेशन जैसी जगह व्यवस्था में अगर लार्जेस्ट कंट्री नहीं होगी तो हमें तो नुकसान है ही, और यूनाइटेड नेशन सिक्योरिटी काउंसिल को भी नुकसान है, because their own legitimacy and their own ability to deal with the global issues will be impacted. As we all know, many issues now that are coming down the road are not one country's solution. Climate change, number of other issues, and you need everybody to be with you. So that is the crux of the platform, and why we are doing it today on 5th of September is with a request to all my friends from media, that VVIPs will be in India over the next 4-5 days. Now, we don't expect them to do anything drastically different, but then we want them to know, through their offices in India, to know that this issue is also of concern to people. And in whatever shape and form, if you could help popularize this issue and make it available and make it visible, that would be my request. As I said again, there is no other objective, there is no organization supporting it, there is no NGO or non-NGO or objective, but basically something for, and I'm doing it not because of others, I'm just doing it as an Indian. I would like to see my country and myself to be in a position where we live in the respect it is. So that is broadly the point. Now, some of you may or may not know, but United Nations has two structures. One is the United Nations General Assembly, in which there are. Does anybody know how many members are in UNGA these days? Any guess? 240. Sorry? 240. There's a large number of countries there, but they only meet once a year, which is the UNGA, which starts in 10 days from now, from 17th to 26th in New York. But the most effective decision-making body is UNSC, which practically meets at any time, and that has the 5 members. So 15 members, out of which 5 are permanent, and these five are United States, Russia, China. There are two more. Anybody has any idea of the two more? France
and UK.
and UK. Now, just to, of course, United States and China and Russia. What is the population of Russia? Does anybody know the population of Russia?
5 crore.
Huh?
5 crore.
5 crores. Anybody in the back?
14 crores, sir.
14 crores. So Russia is bigger than, but still. So that those people, I mean, what is the population of Germany? Sorry, not France. About 70 million. 70. United Kingdom. Now, we have been a non-permanent member which gets elected 10 people. We have been in that category a number of times, I think, multiple times. But those countries include countries like Gabon. The population is 3.3 billion, and some very smaller countries. So we don't belong in the league that we are playing. We belong in a much bigger league. So we'll continue the conversation, but in the meantime, I'll stop here and invite my colleagues to make a few comments about from their perspective, what they see, and then we will come back and continue the conversation. So I now invite the Nigam to say a few words on this subject.
Hello. See, the main issues are, in my opinion, whether we deserve permanent seat at the UN Security Council or not. And the simple answer is, and I start with civilizational continuity of thousands of years that India has. The living civilization, the oldest living civilization. And if you are the oldest living civilization, you have your pros and values. In the shape of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, Sarve Santu Nirama, let the whole world be healthy. So our value system thinks not only about India, but about the entire planet and the universe as well. Because we traverse from one end to the other of the Brahmanda. That is one aspect. Secondly, the most populated country of the world, we have surpassed China, and the median age of Indians today is 28 years. That is a very youthful population with a lot of energy and the desire and will to achieve something. India has been the largest contributor of soldiers and policemen to the UN peacekeeping force and one of the largest contributors of finances to the United Nations. Regularly, India does not default. Many big countries have defaulted on finances, but India has not defaulted. We had COVID and we had limited resources, but we shared our limited resources with the entire world. We vaccinated people, and the people of go to any country in the world, they may not speak your language, but if they see an Indian, they try to communicate, vaccine, India, vaccine, India. This is what they used to say and tell the people. So they acknowledge India's role. So India today is one of the biggest countries, and when you look at the past of United Nations, why we did not get United Nations? I'm not going into the bad history of India, where it was offered on a platter, but refused by the then government. But in 1945, when the UN was created, UK became a part of it, and we were ruled by UK. Therefore, it was not possible for India to become an independent voice at that point of time. So, UK became and represented India as well in a way. Although India also became a member as a separate entity at that point of time. And why these 5 people became members? China was also in support of the people who came during the World War II. So in effect, the winners of World War II became the permanent members of the Security Council. जो जीता वहीं से करता है. हम जीते, हमने एक अलग से अपना एक elite क्लब बनाया और हम उसके परमानेंट मेंबर बन गए, हम दुनिया के भगवान बन गए, जो हम कहेंगे दुनिया वैसे ही करेगी. So that became the motto. And India was left behind. Even the fact that it was offered, maybe the circumstances were not like that, that India at that point of time thought we are not capable of discharging those duties. That should not have been the attitude. I totally disagree. Therefore, veto power today, how it is being used, is upon the own narrow consideration of international politics. It is not for the purposes of unity, peace of the world, maintaining peace of the world. What is Security Council doing today in the Ukraine-Russia war? All the United Nations almost helpless. Almost helpless. They can't do anything about it. Everybody is making money out of that war. And therefore today what we need, someone, a very sane voice, who not only thinks about its own people, its own country, but thinks of the entire world. And we already have that. That is why when the vaccines were sent, the Sanskrit sentence that was written on those boxes was Sarve Santu Niramya. Let the whole world be healthy. And India had a limited resource. It was not like the United States or China who had a lot of money. India with its limited resource provided vaccines more, it's about I think 150, if I'm not wrong. Certainly 100 and plus. 100 plus, that I'm sure of. So we've already established in the world our credentials for a permanent seat in the United Nations Security Council. Now, everybody thinks that unless these 5 countries want, nobody else can enter. But I differ out there. There is a United Nations General Assembly's resolution, duly adopted by 2-3 voting, that was passed on 3rd November 1950, which says that General Assembly can bypass the veto power of the Security Council. And that's very important for unity and peace, and unifying peace and maintaining peace in the world. That resolution, if I am not wrong, was passed on 3rd November 1950. It says that we can bypass it, we can surmount it, but you require a strong voice for that. Today, the world is not based on justice or equality or equity. वो बोलते हैं जिसकी लाठी उसकी भैंस, what उसके basis पे चल रहा है. I am powerful, I will try to run this world according to me. The entire Africa, to which government of India is focusing on Africa today. But they are the deprived lot. They have been only considered as provider of minerals or rare earth minerals, and you exploit them.
Member, India would champion the concerns of developing nations, fostering a more inclusive global decision-making process. While US recently endorsed India, it has not done so in the past. Other permanent members support India just because they very well know that China will use the veto power against India's candidature. The UK government has prioritized UN reformation and backs India's bid for permanent membership. India has been at the forefront of the year-long efforts to reform United Security Council. A lot of talks have been happening for the reformation of the UN. India envisions a world free from terrorism, addressing the threats of violent extremism, and championing sustainable development, gender equality, and climate change mitigation. UN Charter rules must be adopted to accommodate new permanent members. If we have, like there was a saying that if you have more members, then there is a chances of increasing the permanent members. but how far that is possible, we never know. It's a lengthy process. India has requested council expansion and membership from our government side. Additionally, India's External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar has declared India's candidature as a non-permanent member for the year 2028-29. India has an ambitious geopolitical agenda. It will be focusing on Eurasian connectivity, counter-terrorism, and stabilizing Afghanistan. These are all very, very vital agendas, vital points in terms of the geopolitical region is concerned. Notably, India has leveraged the UN to expose Pakistan's support for terrorist organization. Despite roadblocks, India remains resolute in pursuing a just and a representative global order, aligning with like-minded nations to overcome challenges. India must continue mobilizing global public support and maintaining backing from the majority of UNGA and UNSC members, and to achieving a sustained 10% economic growth for a decade should be our priority. Requiring a strategic approach, enhance India's economy, military and diplomatic significance, they would eventually lead us being invited into the P5. P5 members must revisit the UN Charter's original premise to reflect the current global power structure in the permanent UNSC membership composition. Regarding the veto power, it was established during a different era, and the evolving global order requires equitable representation for emerging powers. As you know, the UNSC was composed by the victors of the Second World War in 1945 to suit their interests, and the UN Charter was designed accordingly, giving them permanent membership and veto power in the Council. However, the geopolitical, strategic and economic realities have changed considerably since then, but the UNSC has not adapted itself to these global realities. Despite being a major contributor to peacekeeping missions, developing goals, and multilateral initiatives, India's absence as a permanent UNSC member raises legitimate questions. It is imperative that our collective strive for just representation, urging the international community to acknowledge India's rightful place in shaping the destiny of our shared world. India's significant contributions and multilateral initiatives underscore the need for its permanent UNSC membership. I personally believe that ever-changing world is largely people-centric and depends on their choices. Democracy is the key. A country like China has no moral ground to exercise a veto power when it comes to the welfare of the people, as they stand against all that democracy stands for, and India is world's largest and truest democracy in every aspect. So let's unite in advocating for India's permanent UNSC membership, envisioning an inclusive council where Asian voices resonate alongside European and American counterparts, upholding the principles of equity, justice, and global harmony. And all I want to say, अब तो बनता है